You got to know from the other side, do they mean it? Do they have, other than their argument, like, do they mean it? Or are they just asking for more because they're expecting to land closer to you? And if you got a bet, we live in a Las Vegas world. You're placing your bets. What's most likely? I happen to live in Las Vegas, but I've been using this analogy for years. If you had to bet, they're asking for more than they're willing to settle for because that's the way they're used to doing business the quickest. So you got to know where their lines really are. Their how and what questions are a great way to get there. Another Black Swan skill to master the nuance of is the label. Because again, you're exploring the space between yes and no. So they've laid out the argument for you. It appears that the argument is clear. However, there's always stuff they left out. And so the label seems like you've given this a lot of thought. And then the critical moment is what we call shut up. You lay a label out and you got to go dead silent. You got to go Elon Musk dead silent. Like, I'm a fan of both Elon Musk and Lex Friedman. Listen to one of Elon's interviews. But, he's been on like 4 times, and there's a famous point in time. You ask Elon a question, you got to sit there and shut up while it bakes in his brain. And one of the questions he asked, Elon was dead silent for 22 seconds. Now, most people can't stay silent for a second. And 3 seconds seems like an eternity. And Elon sat there for 22 seconds. Like, try counting that out. Look the next time in one of your conversations when somebody says something to you, and I challenge you to go dead silent for 2 seconds without bursting into flames. But a good label, you got to go dead silent. You got to go Elon Musk dead silent. And you got to let it bake into the other side's brain. And you got to wait for them to respond. And you throw out a good label after they've just made a great case, which most likely is rehearsed. And most likely there's more to it. You're seeing the tip of the iceberg on their thinking. They're looking for collaboration. They're looking for you to help them think. They're looking to explore the space between yes and no. A simple label seems like you've given this a lot of thought. Is the perfect label to find out what's really going on. And you got to wait for the other side to react. I mean, there's a lot more to labeling, but that's one of the most effective labels that are almost I can't think of a circumstance where it's not an appropriate response to be a phenomenal information gathering move on your part to explore the space between yes and no.
I love that. And it also puts the ball back in their court without giving anything up from your side. It's back in their court. And it also buys you some time to reflect and think and process yourself, which...
all of those things. And one of the critical things is it puts it back in their court in a way that they don't feel coerced or cornered by. Now, you've kind of left them in a position where they're probably going to open up to you, but they're not going to feel like they have to. Like, a question causes people to feel like they have to respond. And some people don't like to be made to feel like they have to respond. And consequently, since they don't like it, they won't. But there's something about the way a label hits the brain that just draws people out in a way that's almost impossible to resist.